So I want to talk to you about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. And honestly, it's one of those things where the more I sit with it, the more I realize how true it actually is. You know, there's people around you, like maybe people that you know pretty well, who are just winning, like quietly winning over time again and again, and their life just keeps getting better. Their relationships work, their health is there, they're in shape, they move through hard things without crashing. And if you look closely at what they're actually doing, it doesn't look like what most other people are chasing. Is anyone coming to your mind when I say this? And then there's those people who are constantly adding things, new routine, new approach, new things that they read about and they try to integrate with their life. And 5 years later, they're in the exact same place. I feel like I've seen this a million times, and I'm sure you have too. I've seen this in my own life as well, sitting across from patients all the time, talking with many of you, just life experiences. And I think I might have figured out what that difference actually is. And I want to walk you through it today. So I'm going to talk about 4 major things. And I want to be upfront that none of these things are going to sound incredibly urgent when I say them out loud. And I think that's the problem. Because the things that genuinely change the trajectory of your life don't feel like pressing in the moment. They don't have some insane deadline or some beautiful, sparkly allure to them. No one's sending you a message telling you to do them. But I think that's really important. And just bear with me here. Because of that, most people push these things down the list. There's always something more immediate, something more flashy, something that feels like it needs more attention now. And these 4 things just keep getting deferred. And that deferral is probably one of the most expensive decisions that someone is making. And when I mean expensive, I do mean monetarily, but I also mean time-wise and quality-wise. I also want to say that I'm covering this because I've seen what happens when people ignore these things for long enough. And I've seen what happens when they go very well. So let's jump into it. And I'm going to be respectful of your time. I might talk fast at points because I'm trying to cover a lot of material and really get it to you in a really helpful way very quickly. I know you're busy. Thanks for bearing with me. So jumping right in, the first one is actually learning how to communicate. And I want to be really specific here when I say communicate. I don't just mean talking, okay? We can all talk. I talk too much probably. I mean being able to say what you actually mean in a way that another person can receive it well. That's a very specific skill. And most people have never, 1, thought of it as a skill, or 2, ever considered working on it. Think about how many things in your life run through communication. Your relationships, how you handle conflict, whether you ask for what you need, whether you even know how to do that, whether you can hold a room when something matters. Powerful people can do this on a whim. And also whether the people that are important to you in life actually understand you. Because if they don't, they're probably getting some surface version of you that maybe you don't even know that you're portraying just because you haven't learned to articulate what you're thinking or what's going on inside your head. I watched these things cost me a lot early on. I could think clearly after some time and some work on that, but getting it out in a way that landed with other people was a very different problem. And if this still isn't resonating with you, I want you to think about how many people are in power just for being good speakers. And it's not like it's just the power of persuasion, which is incredibly helpful, but the power to make people feel better. This is something that I have to master as a physician. I can't just go in the room and not know how to communicate. I have to be able to read it and respond and tell people the right things. It's an art. And if you don't master this, that can do a lot of damage over time without even really realizing where it's coming from. But if you master it, everything can flow so well. The sentence that keeps coming to mind that I've sat with for a while now and journaled and thought about is, if you can think and speak and write well, you are an incredibly formidable person, just to be frank. The more that I've sat with this, the more that I think it's genuinely true. Because if you can do those things well, you can move through almost any situation. I have worked on this for many years, and I cannot exaggerate the benefit this has had for me. It is probably one of the number one things that I tell people to level up if you truly want to master your life. You build this by doing it, okay? It's not super complex. Most things I talk about on this channel aren't. Take the hard conversations, practice in them. Write, actually write well. Do your best. Try to improve it, okay? You can chat with AI these days and you can improve these things. But pay attention to your conversations. When you said something that you know didn't land or that sounded like a miss, think about that later. How could you have done that better? Rerun that in your head, and not like in like just like a pathological, like kind of broken loop kind of way, but like actually like really immerse yourself in it and go through it. It makes a big difference. I know that might sound a little corny, but trust me here. And look, this isn't like something incredibly glamorous like the next video on drop shipping. Okay, that was kind of like 10 years ago, but still, you get my point. But it's incredibly powerful and touches every aspect of your life. Do you think this YouTube channel would be here if I couldn't communicate? All right, let's not beat a dead horse with this one. Moving on. So the second one is going to be your physical capacity. You got to build a body that works when you want it to work. And I say this as a physician who has watched what has happened to people when they don't. Not just like the bad health outcomes, which those matter tremendously and fills our hospitals, right? It's what a capable body can do and how you carry yourself day to day, like your baseline energy. Whether you wake up and your body feels ready for the day or like you're just struggling to get through it. Whether you feel confident that you can just take something on or lift something when you need to, and you build that confidence in yourself and you feel great. I tell people all the time, some people are working out for the wrong things. Work out to become capable. Do so many things to become capable. In fact, that's probably what the title of this video should have been, is how to be capable. Maybe I will name it that. We'll see. I think this gets so underestimated because the benefits are so gradual that people don't really notice them like accumulating over time. But again, I've watched the other direction play out over and over in a clinical setting. When the body gets ignored long enough, it starts to affect everything else in your life. Your confidence, your mood, obviously your physicality, and you pick up all sorts of illnesses, you know, how much mental bandwidth you have to do hard things, and doing hard things is sometimes very important. And you also lose the willingness to take on these hard things. These aren't separate from physical health. They are deeply ingrained and tied to it. Please, please listen to this. The actual prescription for this really isn't too complicated. Lift heavy stuff, okay? There are plenty of workout plans out there. I don't need to write one for you right here. Walk every day and be consistent over years. That's the summary of it. Look, there's a lot of really good people out there who can really dig into this for you. Give it a Google. It's not hard. I feel like the complexity of the fitness world is unnecessary and probably content driven, just to be frank, but here we are. All right, we've covered the first two. I might have lost many of you already because you may not think these are relevant, but if you do, if you feel deep down in your bones that there's something to this, let's keep going, okay? I have a feeling many of you still here are relating to this. Stick with me. The next thing, the third thing that I want to talk about is comfort with yourself, okay? Genuinely being comfortable being alone, in silence, without needing anything to fill it. It is a crazy concept in today's world. A lot of you tell me you can do this, but I think if you're honest to yourself about this one, you might think this is a lot harder than you might be expecting. Most people are constantly running some sort of background noise. Phone, podcast, music, TV in the other room. There was a time where I would literally like go to the bathroom and pull my phone in my back pocket while I was going to the bathroom, just scroll on it. That's ridiculous, okay? I mean, it takes me like not long at all, right? I'm also not saying any of these things are inherently bad. Smartphone does a lot for me. I use it every day on rounds, really better than carrying paper charts. But I think there is a very important question here that's worth answering, and you should pause and think about this yourself. Is it a choice for you or is it a reflex? I don't really have to elaborate anymore. I think that's a good enough question. Let me know in the comments. I also want to take this a step further because I've made videos about this. I've reflected about this in the past. I notice with people that I work with a lot that discomfort with silence is oftentimes mainly discomfort with your own thoughts. Something hasn't been processed. Something that comes up when the distraction goes away that you may not really want to work through at that time. As long as there is constant noise, you don't have to deal with it. But things don't go away. The body keeps score. The mind keeps score. Your energy it all keeps score. It runs in the background. It builds up. It gets cluttered. And it affects your decisions, your relationships, your ability to be with people. And you may not be noticing that so much of your problems in life are coming from this. I've had many phases, like an ebb and flow, where this becomes a problem for me. Oftentimes, like scrolling on social media. Something that I found really helpful is like a physical NFC tag type device that actually blocks the apps. I use one called Brick. There's other ones out there. I like Brick. I'll link it below. I'll link an affiliate link because you get a discount from it. I'll also link a non-affiliate link. I really don't care. Use whichever one you want. My channel is successful because it doesn't have to be successful. Does that make sense? I just found that this works better than like app timers. We can override those. You can't override this. I haven't touched my short form social medias in like 2 weeks. They've been locked the entire time. I do social media for a living. Hadn't bothered me. I also think it's important to note, like the people who are really good at this, they have this quality about them. It's like a very calming groundedness. You probably know someone, like whoever comes to your mind right now. Think about how they carry themselves for a minute. Oftentimes when I say these things, someone pops in your mind, and I do that intentionally because that can be really helpful. But like they're harder to like shake and rattle. They're more in their neutral, if that makes sense. And I think it's because they've actually looked at what's there and they're okay with it. And they're very perceptive. And that perception comes out of practice. When I mean practice, I'm talking about meditation and stillness and just existing, enjoy life. Appreciate a sunset, or just anything. Walk without anything in your ears playing. Sit down without an agenda or doing something. It can be built slowly oftentimes, and that's why a lot of people quit. That's okay. But things will change if you do this. I promise. Just give me like 2 weeks and then come back and comment. I'd actually be really curious. Now, the fourth one. And I love this one, and I'm going to try to move quicker because I don't want to burn too much of your time. I really do know that your time is valuable, okay? But the fourth one is genuinely learn to love to think. That might not make a lot of sense when I say it, but let me be a little bit more clear. You don't have to be some super brilliant, smart person, although I think that will come over time doing this. I don't care about your credentials, but actually be curious. That's what I care about. Be the kind of person who finds something interesting and just goes for it, who asks a question and then follows it somewhere. The best part is I say somewhere because it doesn't really matter where it leads you sometimes. But be the person who can sit with a really hard problem, not because they have to, but because something in them deep down wants to understand. And if this sounds too abstract for you, let me put it into a little bit more clarity. Imagine if you were passionate about asking questions about really any aspect of your life, like your finances, okay? You start learning, you dive down rabbit holes. You learn that perhaps you should have been investing in a Roth IRA 10 years ago. But the best time to plant a tree is now, I suppose, if you already missed the 10-year one. Or maybe you want to jump into a rabbit hole about your physical health or how to be a better communicator. You can see how this can really profoundly impact your life. Don't just stay here with this one video. Do more research. Find something that you really want to dive into. That curiosity can teach you so much. Think about the long-term compounding effect of this. 20 years of someone who loves to think and who reads often and questions things and who takes ideas seriously and has fun with them, compared to 20 years of someone who mostly just consumes whatever in front of them, which is getting worse and worse nowadays, the gap in those people is astronomical. It's too hard to even describe. That will permeate into every ounce of your life And that is not talked about enough, especially in my field of medicine where everything is considered physicality, but no one is addressing the mind and the mindset of people and how many aspects of their life fail to get where they are. It's wild. There's also a part of this that might be a little bit harder to articulate, but I think it's very important, and I'll give it my best shot here. The people who think really well are a lot harder to fool and get things past. They're less reactive, which, gosh, maybe that's a huge point in life, to enjoy it, right? When something hard comes up, they jump in. They love the complexity rather than just reaching for a crutch. That is complete freedom. And I think it might be the most underrated thing on the list. So a few ways that come to mind on how you build this are maybe reading things that are hard, or just be willing to sit with a question longer than feels comfortable. Write about it. Where does it take you? Notice some gaps. Dig into it a little bit. If there's a passion you've been curious about, dive into it. If your money isn't where it needs to be, maybe look into that. That's a great place to start. This isn't even a money channel, but please get your finances in order. The point is, it's a practice, just like everything else here. So let's close this down. You've made it a really long way, and I'm proud of you. And if you have, comment. I would love to know how far you made it in this video, because your attention span's better than 99.9% of the population. The 4 things: communication, a capable body, comfort with yourself, and a genuine love of thinking. These are the things that I kept going back to, both in my own life that have drastically elevated my life to where I am today, and in watching other people over time. You don't often have this major launch moment. There's no buzzy notification from your favorite YouTuber telling you to do this, because it usually doesn't sell. You just start, you keep going, and at some point, you look back and realized a lot of what used to feel hard simply doesn't anymore. And gosh, what a feeling that is. That is what I can tell you in a YouTube video without making this too long. Again, I respect your time. For the ones of you who want to dive deeper, there's an option. I wrote a book that covers this and so much more. Physicality, nutrition, health, all aspects. I really dive into it, as well as the philosophy and mindset that we're talking about today. It is the step-by-step version of how I rebuilt my own mind and body, and how you can too. It's called From Dull to Doctor: How I Train My Brain and Body to Thrive, and how you can too. It's in all formats. I'll drop a link for you below. I think it'll truly change your life. So many people have told me it has. It has everything that I wish I had when I was going through this, and that's why I wrote it for you. And if you want a free version, that is definitely an option. I have a 30-day blueprint that I think you'll really enjoy. I just do this to meet people with where they're at. Check it out. I'll drop it in the description below. And if you found value in this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment and let me know your thoughts on it. It really does mean the world. Also, hit that little bell icon. It will remind you when I post a video. I post 1 video a week, sometimes more, and you don't want to miss another life-changing video like this. This is just what we do around here. I also always say, share this video with someone that you care about and love. It's completely free, and it's the least that you can do to help them. It can truly change their life. Now, as always, I'm Dr. Matt Jones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.